You ever walk into a room and just feel the vibe change? Or maybe your own mood shifts for, like, no good reason? Well, it turns out it's probably not just in your head. Today, we're going to dive into some really fascinating science about how the people around you are, believe it or not, constantly shaping your brain, your body, and even your default mood. Okay, so let's start with a big question, and I want you to really think about it. Is the mood you're in right now really yours? I mean, that feeling of calm, or maybe that little knot of stress in your stomach, did it start with you? We all like to think our emotions are these super private internal things. But what if they're not?
Yeah, because it turns out new research is showing that our moods, our feelings, our stress levels, they might actually be contagious. Like literally as contagious as a cult. The people you hang out with are constantly sending out these invisible signals, and your body is picking them up, whether you know it or not.
And this leads to a pretty mind-blowing idea, really. Your nervous system, it's not this isolated solo machine running inside you. It's actually a social nervous system. Right now, it's having this secret hidden conversation with the nervous systems of anyone and everyone you interact with. So there's a name for this whole process, and it's called co-regulation. And you've totally felt this before. You know when you're super stressed and you hang out with that one friend who's just super chill, and after a few minutes, you notice your own breathing has slowed down, your shoulders aren't up by your ears anymore? That is co-regulation. It's your body on its own, syncing up with theirs. Scientists call this whole thing limbic resonance. And it's basically our built-in wiring to respond to these social signals. Think about it. This goes way back. It's an ancient survival thing. It helped our ancestors connect, feel safe, and work together. So this subconscious syncing, it's not some kind of weird magic. It's just deep biology at work. So this is a huge change from how we used to think about things, right? The old view was simple. My nervous system is my own private business. It controls my heartbeat, my breathing, my stress, and that's it. But the new view, it's way more connected. It sees our nervous system as this open, social thing, constantly being tuned and adjusted by the people we're with. Your internal state, it's basically a group project. Okay, so how on earth does this actually work inside our brains? Well, it all comes down to something incredible called the mirror effect. This is the actual mechanism that lets feelings, lets emotions literally jump from one person to the next. And the stars of this whole show, they're called mirror neurons. These brain cells are just amazing. They don't just fire when you do something, they also fire when you watch someone else do it. So when you see a friend just crack up laughing, your mirror neurons light up and start creating the same patterns in your brain. And boom, you start to feel a little bit of their joy too. It's empathy hardwired. Now, here's the catch. This works for the not-so-great emotions too. Let's say you're around someone who's super anxious all the time. Here's what happens step by step. First, you just see their emotion, right? You see their tension. Step 2, your mirror neurons kick into gear. Step 3, your brain starts to copy their neural patterns. And before you know it, step 4, you're starting to feel their anxiety. It becomes your anxiety, even if nothing is actually wrong in your own life.
And this is really important. This isn't just an in-the-moment feeling that goes away. When this happens over, all this silent mirroring actually starts to shape what we call your emotional baseline. Think of it as your default setting, the state your body just naturally returns to. The people you spend the most time with, they are literally setting the thermostat for your daily mood.
So, this gets us to the really long-term stuff, the big impact of your social circle. Because the people in your life, they're not just affecting how you feel today. They are physically, and I mean physically, rewiring your brain. How is that even possible? Well, it's because of something called brain plasticity. Your brain isn't like a rock. It's more like clay. It's not fixed. It's constantly changing and adapting based on what you do over and over again. And it turns out, your social interactions are one of the most powerful forces that shape that clay. So, think about what happens when you're in a really supportive environment. You're around people who make you feel safe and understood. What does that do? Well, it builds up your resilience to stress. It actually improves your own emotional regulation. You get better at recovering and relaxing. Over time, your brain physically builds pathways that create a calm and safe emotional baseline. It becomes your new normal. But, and this is a big but, the flip side is just as powerful. If you're constantly in a draining or stressful environment, it trains your brain to be on high alert 24/7.
This is what leads to that feeling of hypervigilance and anxiety. It keeps your stress hormones jacked up, it messes with your sleep, and yeah, it can even lead to serious physical issues like high blood pressure.
Okay, I know, that might sound a little intense, maybe even a little scary, but here's the good news. This is actually really empowering stuff. Because once you get how this works, you've got a whole toolkit you can use to protect yourself and actually take control of your social environment. Strategy number 1, and this is the big one, choose your circle wisely. Be really intentional about who gets your time and energy. When you surround yourself with people who are supportive, reliable, and just steady, you're sending a constant all-clear signal to your nervous system. That's what allows it to finally relax and recharge. All right, strategy number 2, set clear boundaries. And I want you to reframe this. Setting boundaries isn't just some soft psychological idea. It's a biological necessity. Limiting your time with people who just drain you isn't mean or weak. It's self-preservation. It's basically putting a protective filter on your nervous system. Number 3, seek out those small, positive moments. This isn't always about having deep, meaningful conversations. It can be as simple as sharing a quick laugh with a coworker or having a short, calm chat with the person at the coffee shop. These little moments, they're like tiny resets for your nervous system. They send these powerful signals of safety to your brain. And finally, strategy 4, you can build up your own internal resilience. This is about practicing self-regulation. Things like mindfulness or even just a few deep breaths. They're like taking your nervous system to the gym. You're training it to bounce back from stress faster and more efficiently. And the stronger your own system is, the less you'll be pulled around by everyone else's. So, if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this quote right here. The people you allow into your life have the power to shape your body and mind in profound ways. Your social life isn't just for fun. It's a fundamental part of your health. It's not separate. The science is crystal clear on this. And that leaves us with one last question, a really important one for you to think about. As you go on with the rest of your day, just notice the people you're around and ask yourself, who is shaping my nervous system right now?